What's going on, everybody? I'm super excited today. I have this guy, the OSS HXQD Magnum TI. I'm going to try and do a review on this to show you guys the recoil reduction, sound reduction, and what it looks like on different firearms. So then I'm going to come back, I'm going to examine the claims on the back of their box, see if those are all true. And then I'm going to try my best to give you an in-depth review on what I've learned about the suppressor, personal experiences, just sort of try and tell you everything that you couldn't necessarily find by Googling it. But for now, let's go shoot it and have a good time. All right, guys, so for those of you who want to see sort of how much length it adds to the rifle, I've got a 10.3 inch arrow, I got a 18 inch arrow rifle, and I have a 22 inch Christensen Arms MPR. Okay, so this is on the 10.3 inch. I like it on this gun. One thing I do want to note for you guys is that shooting this on the 10.3 inch barrel is a lot louder than shooting it on like an 18 inch 223. So now it's on the 18 inch AR-15, and I really love, you can really see in the lighting how the silver went to really a bronze finish on this after all the heat went through it. And last but not least, we got it on the Christensen Arms MPR. Say hi to Miley, it's my brother's dog. Yes, it sort of looks like a joust once you put it on a 22 inch barrel. That's one of my bigger complaints on this can is how long it is, but what do you expect? It's a 338 can. I mean, you give and take, and for a 338 can, it's actually quite short. All right, so the purpose of this video, I'm going to try and give you a subjective comparison of shooting unsuppressed and suppressed, both to see the sound difference. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because I'm filming on a cell phone, but to also see the recoil. So try and take into account both of those things as I'm shooting, and then compare with it being suppressed. And guys, I am going to put my suppressor cover back on because I'm going to be shooting a little bit, and I want to be able to take it off when I'm done shooting. So noticeably, I could tell there was less recoil, less muzzle flip. The first two shots I took unsuppressed, the rifle was pulling up and to the left, which is sort of weird. Maybe that's just the way I shot it. But with the can on, a lot less recoil and really quiet. And just to prove to you guys that this is hearing safe, I took my earplugs out, sent a couple rounds downrange. So 3 rounds consecutively, no irritation in my ears whatsoever. Very impressed with it on the 18 inch 223. All right, guys, let's try this 6.5 Creedmoor suppressed without hearing protection. Yeah, I am just unbelievably impressed with the sound suppression. Even on the bolt gun, shooting the 6.5 Creedmoor, my ears are not even affected. Like, not even irritated because there's no gas coming back, obviously there's no gas coming back, but there's no bolt slamming back or anything like that. And it's very impressive. You could shoot this quite a few times without needing to throw earplugs in. So I'm excited about this can. All right, guys, so I hope that gave you a good idea of how this works out on the range. So to talk about what they have on the back of the box, they first bring up their torque lock system. I absolutely love the torque lock system. Your suppressor will never fall off. This thing's always constantly self-tightening itself, and the muzzle brake itself is also self-tightening. So every time you shoot, that tightens, this tightens. You never got to worry about it falling off. I've shot in over 1,000 rounds through this, and you don't got to worry that it tightens so much that it pulls the brake off the gun. I was worried about that before I bought this. Not an issue. Matter of fact, if you ever carbon lock this to your mount, you can screw off the whole thing and it pulls the mount with it, and then later you can soak it and then take the mount off, reapply it to your rifle. But that should never be a problem. I've never had any carbon come back past my taper mount into my threads. I think that's very awesome. I've messed with other mounts as well, and they get carbon locked on so tight that you can't get anything off, and it's a real pain. You might have to send it back. Never an issue with this guy. All right, so second on the box, hearing safe. I absolutely agree with this. It is hearing safe, at least to me. I didn't do any scientific testing. You can see some of their videos on the Silencer Shop test they do on YouTube. But 10.3 is hearing safe. It's a lot louder on the 10.3. 223 is hearing safe. 6.5 is hearing safe. I do want to note, when I first started shooting this, I was shooting steel, and it was really loud, and I wasn't impressed with how quiet the suppressor was because it's hurting my ears. Well, it turns out that the steel, that bullet hitting the steel, was actually what was making my ears hurt more than the suppressor was. So I started shooting the dirt, and I'm like, wow, this thing is impressive. It's not loud at all. So yeah, I really like that. Next on the box, full auto rated. Exceptional shooting through a full auto. No gas back in the face. I shot like 5 mags, and none of them like overgassed me at all. Normally, whenever you see someone shooting full auto, it's always like, ooh, I got a lot of gas. But no, this thing took it very well. Didn't increase the bolt speed or anything like that. And mainly, again, just no gas back in your face. It's really pleasant to shoot. My cat likes guns too. All right, so cross-platform compatible. I really like that about this suppressor too, because it's a 338 cam. You can shoot any of your rifles below that, except for a 22, obviously. But you can't shoot pistols on it. Not a big deal. This technology actually isn't optimized for pistols, but they are working on pistol cans at the moment. Precision certified and repeatable and minimal shift. These are absolutely accurate. It's roughly, for me, on the 6.5 and the 223, it was about a 2-inch drop. And then some of them shot a little bit to the left as well, but you just got to re-zero for that, and it hits dead on every single time. No weapon mods. Probably the best thing about this suppressor, honestly, because I don't have an adjustable gas block, don't have a weighted buffer, different spring, any of that kind of stuff. If your gun shoots how it shoots, you put this can on, it'll shoot exactly the same. It's awesome. Recoil management, you guys saw that. Definitely manages the recoil. It's not as good as putting a brake on there, but it's definitely better than just having a flash hider or comp on there. Another really cool thing, it's serviceable. If you shoot 2,000 rounds through this and you feel like you want to clean it out, you just soak it in CLP, blow out 90% of the junk, and it's lighter. You don't got to worry about stuff building up. I really like that about the suppressor. A lot of people say you don't got to clean your cans. However, if you shoot 10,000 rounds to this thing, it's going to build up, and I just like the idea that you can clean it out. All right, so beside the box, my initial impression when I opened this, I wasn't happy because on the website they showed in black Cerakote. When I picked it up, it was a silver Cerakote. Obviously, you saw in my video when you shoot a lot of rounds through it, it will turn sort of bronze, so that's okay. I also ordered the 7.62 can in titanium. That came black. I don't know what they're doing with their Cerakotes, but whatever. This one, that's how it came for me. Another thing I mentioned in the video, I did not like the length of this, but then again, it's for a 338 can, it is a lot shorter than other 338 suppressors, and it is a lot lighter, so that is a plus. So you hear this a lot about this can. It's louder at the muzzle, but quieter at the ear. I can attest to this. I shot it with my local gun shop owner at Big Rooster Firearms, and he shot his Rugged Surge 9-inch next to mine, and when you shot them side by side, his was a lot louder on the gun, so your ear would ring just by shooting it, even though around you it's a lot quieter. Mine, when you shoot it, your ears wouldn't ring because the gas wouldn't come back. So when I stood back further and listened to both guns being shot, mine sounded a lot louder. Not a lot louder, but it did sound louder. His sounded a lot quieter. But again, when you're on the gun, you can shoot this all day, and that gas isn't going to make your ear ring, versus when you're shooting something like a 9-inch Rugged Surge, which is what he had, your ears are going to be a lot more irritated from the gas blowing out the port. Now I want to show you the quick disconnect system. It actually does come apart very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pops right off. For me, that's a big plus because I hate threading on cans and worrying about cross-threading and all that kinds of stuff. This is a very thick, coarse thread. You'll never cross-thread it. So a couple things I want to touch on right away that I learned about this, again, after I bought the can. This can is not designed for 300 blackout subs. It's actually still 140 decibels at the muzzle with the subsonic loads, which you can get other cans that are like 125. So there's a big difference. It's still hearing safe to shoot the subs, but again, I was hoping for like 22 quiet on the 300 blackout. Not the case with this can. So keep that in mind if this is something you're going to pick up. You're not going to get that suppression from the 300 blackout subsonic. For the guys that like their suppressor as close to the handguard as possible, you need to note that when you're fully tightened on to your muzzle, you screw past the end of the muzzle device about a 1/16 of an inch, or maybe even a little further than that, maybe little less than an 1/8 of an inch. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get real close to your handguard. But regardless, these wrench flats are a little bit thinner than the outer diameter of the can, so that might go into your handguard if that's what you're looking to do. I also want to prove to you guys how the threads absolutely stay clean here. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's no carbon back here whatsoever compared to up here. This is super dirty. Back here, there's nothing. I've never had a problem with these getting locked up on me. Like I said, I put 1,000 rounds through it, and to this day, not an issue. Another thing is, not a big deal. You get it with most suppressors. There's a little bit of first round pop with this can. Like I said, not a big deal. It's only a couple decibels, but you should know that. One more thing, little, doesn't really make a difference to me. But if you can see this, the end of your suppressor gets very dirty because everything's blowing out of these holes up front. So you get some buildup on the edges of these vent ports here, and the front of your suppressor will be black. Not a big deal, but again, something I didn't know before I bought it. So what's different about the Magnum versus the 5.56 and the 7.62 cans they have? Not much. It's just got a bigger hole going through it, and it's longer. It is a little bit quieter when you're shooting it. I got to shoot the 7.62 model, and it's a little bit louder downrange. Still the same noise at your ear. The only thing different is that this is quieter. So to wrap this up, guys, I want to let you know that I'm not sponsored in any way to advertise this to you. I just honestly believe in this product. I think it's really awesome. If I had to do it over again, I'd still choose the OSS over a baffle can. For the reasons of not having that gas in your face. It's always tight on your gun, and you don't need additional mods to have your AR run correctly. I really believe in this can. I think it's awesome. But anyways, guys, I hope I did a good job giving you an idea of what the suppressor is all about. But anyways, keep shooting, enjoy your suppressors, and have a good day.